Life is cause and consequence. Whether important or trivial, big or small, good or bad, everything is cause and consequence. When we use our volition, i.e., when we think of something, we create a cause. To act on this thought, a consequence is created. For example, to think of building a house. The cause is a house. The consequence is a home. Naturally, from this, a possession is created. Cause, consequence and possession. To convey our thoughts in a correct sentence structure, these principles must be present. We must show cause, consequence, possession. Again, naturally, when we convey our thoughts in a written format, with correct sentence structure, we become the authority of that thought, making us the author. So, again, to convey our thoughts in a correct sentence structure, we must show cause, consequence, possession, authority. These are the building blocks to create a correct sentence structure. Guide 1. Cause, consequence, possession, authority. While writing contracts, i.e., conveying our volition in written format, we must never create a negative condition of state. We must never lie. This means when we are conveying the cause, the consequence, the possession and the authority of our volition, these things must always be fact-based. A factual cause. A factual consequence. Possession of a fact. Authority for a fact. Guide 2. Position. Lodial. Fact. In the past, we were taught that to certify a fact, we must have a preposition and an article. People might be familiar with hearing preposition, article, noun. A preposition is a word that tells you where or when something is in relation to something else. By definition, a preposition is a word used before a noun or pronoun to mark its relation to the rest of the sentence. Such as to, when saying, I went to the house. To the house. Preposition, article, noun. Examples of prepositions include words like before, on, under, outside, before the people, on the bridge, under the bridge, outside the house. Prepositions. Article. An article is a word that points to the ownership of a noun, such as the, this, her, his. For example, the house, this house, her house, his house. Noun. A noun is a word that functions as the name of a specific object or set of objects, such as living things, places, actions, qualities, states of existence, or ideas, i.e., facts. Like I said, When we convey our volition in writing, we must never lie or create a negative condition of state. When we write contracts, and for them to be correct, we can never talk about the past or the future. We can only talk about now. Right here, right now. There is only ever, now. We have been, and will always be in, the now. To talk of the past or future in contracts, the contractee must assume and presume what is happening, for the past is set in stone, and most of us have only ever been a part of it for a very brief time, in relation to the grand scheme of things. And the future is a lottery. It is a roll of the dice. Nobody knows what is going to happen. This is why we can only use words that convey the now and are positive performance words. So that, at any time, when a contract is read, it will always convey the now. For example, take the words preposition, article and noun. These three words create a negative condition of state. Let me explain. This is my introduction to parsing in this tutorial. Every syllable of a word in itself is a word. Take the word parsing. PAR equals parts and SE equals speech. Parsing equals parts of speech. Another example. Take the word valuation. Each syllable is a word. VAL equals valor, value. U and V are interchangeable, leaning towards value. A equals 1. TION equals contract. Valuation means one value contract. So again, let's look and parse these words. Preposition, article, noun. Preposition, PRE equals before. POS equals posture. I equals singular. TION equals contract. I want to pay attention to the prefix in this word. The prefix is pre. This means before. So it is set in the past. It is a negative condition of state. It negates the now. Basically it means no. So this word preposition means no single posture contract. Or any words that have a prefix, like RE, IN, EM, or UN. All these prefix mean no or back. They negate the now and are no contract words. To change this word preposition to a positive performance word, we can drop the prefix pre, leaving us with the word position, which means single posture contract, a positive performance word. Article. Any word that starts with a vowel and is followed by two consonants is a no contract, negative condition of state word. This can be found by looking at the synonyms for these words. These will be negative conditions. Also, any word that starts with a single syllable vowel is a no contract word. Another way of explaining an article is to use the word ownership. Like I said before, the house, this house, her house, his house, it shows ownership. But again this word ownership starts with a vowel and is followed by two consonants. This is a negative condition of state. A no contract word. The word used in this construct instead is allodial, as opposed to the word allodial, as in allodial title. Again this word allodial is a no contract word, giving it starts with a vowel and is followed by two consonants. So the word allodial is used. LO equals location. DI equals original. AL equals contract. Loadial equals original location contract. A positive performance word. Noun. Again, the word noun itself is a no-contract word. For the passé is NO equals no. UN equals no. Noun equals no no. You can never create a negative condition of state. The word used in this construct instead is fact. So instead of using the words preposition, article, noun, we use position, loadial, fact. All these things must be present to certify a fact. Positions. When certifying a fact, we must take a position. We must have standing. There are 64 so-called opposite prepositions, i.e., positions. For example, up, down, over, under, around and through. With this construct, it is very simple. Only two sets of prepositions are ever used. The prepositions for, and, by, and the prepositions of, and, with. Very simple. Loadial. What we were thought are articles and determiners. There are 34 articles, i.e., words to describe ownership. For example, her, his, those. With this construct, only 5 loadial are ever used. Again, very simple. These are a, an, the, this, these. So to certify a fact, we need to have standing, i.e., our position. We need to give ownership to the fact, i.e., our loadial. So we can state our fact. A so-called noun. So let's certify this fact-based word. Heart. Everyone knows this is a fact. Everybody has one. For me to certify this fact in writing, I must have standing and allocate ownership. Say for example, I said, the heart. The is the loadial, heart is the fact. But we must take a position to certify this. So like I said, the positions used in this construct are for, and, by, of, and, with. So if I said, for the heart, here I have the positional, for, the loadial, the, and the fact-based word heart being certified. For the heart, positional loadial fact. For, and by are opposite prepositions. For example, whether I say, for the heart, or, by the heart. For, and by are opposite prepositions, but the same message is being conveyed. Or if I said, of the heart, or, with the heart, again, these are opposite prepositions but you still get the same picture in your mind. An example the founder of this construct would say was, the bridge is over the water. The water is under the bridge. Under and over, although being no contract prepositions, are opposite prepositions, and paint you the same picture in your mind. The preposition, for, is used at the start of our sentences in this correct sentence structure construct, because it is the best positive positional to bring us right to the point of the matter. Let's go back to our Guide 1, Cause, Consequence, Possession, Authority. Let us certify these fact-based words. So I said, for is used to start our sentences, bringing us straight to the point of the matter. Example, to certify the word cause. We could say, for the cause. For being the positional, the being the loadial and cause being our fact-based word certified. Now let's certify consequence. So the positional used here is the first word from the next set of prepositions used, i.e., of, and, with. Remember, only two sets of prepositions are ever used in this construct. So to certify the consequence, we could say, of, the consequence, of, being the positional, the, being the loadial and consequence, being our fact-based word certified. So we have, for the cause, of the consequence. Now to certify possession. In this construct, and in life, the consequence and the possession will always mirror each other. For as a consequence, a possession is created. So when we certify the possession, we always use the opposite preposition of the consequence, with being the opposite preposition of. So to certify the possession with a positional, we would say, with the possession. So, now we have, for the cause, of the consequence, with the possession. Can you see how of and with are mirroring each other? While the consequence and possession will always mirror each other. So, all that's left to certify now is authority. Just like the consequence and the possession mirror each other, the cause and authority will always mirror each other. For the cause is knowledge, and knowledge is authority. So if the positional to certify the cause is for, the opposite positional to certify the authority is by, we would say, by the authority. Again, positional by, loadial, the, and authority, being the fact-based word certified. Having all these fact-based words certified, they will look like this. For the cause, of the consequence, with the possession, by the authority. Now, as I've said, the cause and authority will always mirror each other, while their positions are opposites, for, and, by. The same is said for the consequence and the possession and how their positions are opposites, of, and, with. Let me set this down briefly. Guide 3, Verbs. Verb of the volition. There are only two verbs in the English language. Before we do anything in life, we must think. Thinking is action, action is motion, motion is verb. Walking is not a verb. We must think to walk. Building is not a verb. We must think to build. Dancing is not a verb. We must think to dance. Everything comes from our thinking, our volition. This is why there are only two verbs in the English language: is and are. Is singular. Are is plural. Is and are the verbs of volition. Let's put our correct sentence structure together. Remember, we have, for the cause, of the consequence, with the possession, by the authority. Before I could convey these things to you in this video tutorial, I had to think about it. I used my volition to convey these fact-based words, their positions and loadial. So, to convey my volition in writing through a correct sentence structure. I must show my verb of thinking. When I look at these things again, for the cause, of the consequence, with the possession, by the authority, my cause is singular, so my verb of the thinking will be singular. This being, is. The cause of the matter will always determine if the verb is single or plural. So, these things in a correct sentence structure will look like this. For the cause, of the consequence, is, with the possession, by the authority. Taking from this grid format and written from left to right. For the cause of the consequence is with the possession by the authority. Here is my closure on why the verb takes this position, as opposed to nature. We draw our lines from one point to another, whether it's from left to right, or right to left. But nature, she draws her lines from a central point outward. This can be seen in this construct. So, like I said, before anything is possible, we must think. From our thinking, a cause is created. To act on this, we have consequence. Naturally, a possession is created. The verb becomes the mirror between the consequence and the possession. The possession placed here is like standing behind your thinking, taking responsibility for your actions, taking possession of your thinking. And we authorize our volition by the authority. Like we draw our lines, we read from one point to another. For the cause, of the consequence, is with the possession, by the authority. The cause and the authority always reflect each other. And the same is the case for the consequence and the possession. This is why the opposite prepositions are used here. The verb being the mirror between them. Another way of looking at it is, the verb is the balance between these things. If I was to put the verb at the start of the sentence, it would read like a question. Is for the cause, of the consequence, with the possession, by the authority. A major point of this construct is not to ask questions, but to make statements. Don't ask questions in your contracts. Make statements. Okay, if I was conveying causes, as in two or more causes, my verb of the thinking would be plural, using the verb are. This sentence could look like, for these causes, of the consequence, are, with the possession, by these authorities. The cause of the matter will always determine if the verb is single or plural. Correct sentence structures can be certified forward and backward. This leaves no room for interpretation. No assuming or presuming. Let me explain. Because of the placement of our positions, we can read this sentence backwards and it will still say the same thing. because the positions for and by are opposites. When reading a correct sentence structure backwards, I can swap out the positional by for. For example, where it says by the authority, I can say for the authority, and I still get the same message. Again, the same can be said for, of, and with. Where it says with the possession, I can swap it out for of the possession, for the authority of the possession. Because I am reading it backwards, the authority becomes the cause and the possession becomes the consequence. Like I said, these things reflect each other. So after the cause and consequence, the verb of the volition is placed because the verb is cause and consequence. We can't have cause and consequence without thinking. For the authority of the possession is. Now looking at of the consequence. Instead of saying of the consequence, I can write with the consequence. For the authority of the possession is with the consequence. Remember, of and with being opposite positions. And the same can be done with for the cause. I can swap this out by saying by the cause. Forward it reads, for the cause of the consequence is with the possession by the authority. Backwards it reads, for the authority of the possession is with the consequence by the cause. Read forward or backward. The same message, the same volition, is being conveyed. We simply have to swap out the positionals with their opposites. This construct is mathematically certified. 1 plus 2 equals 3, 3 minus 2 equals 1. Cause plus consequence equals possession. Possession minus consequence equals cause.
So it is written, so it shall be done. Does 2 plus 2 equal 4?
Well, that's what I was taught.
TO plus TOO equals FOR? Did you hear what I said? What I meant, what I said, what I said, what I meant, what I said. If you don't see it written, you can't prove it. Anybody wants, when you write a contract, you go into court, you have a syntax document. You are filing a lawsuit with an accuracy of 1 to 900 for every word. Your correct sentence structure, communication, syntax, balance of the order of operations of cause and effect, a verb of thinking, a possessive of with, and an authorization of by the, gives you an order of operations for every sentence that follows the rules of the operations of a court. So every single sentence is its own independent court as you make an argument. We're not dealing with 150 to 1 variables in an oral conversation, so your paperwork is going to speak for you. They have to come up to speed with this thing. Every court in the world has to do this. And when you take English through syntax through this program, and you translate it to Spanish, Spanish to French, French to German, German to Russian, Russian to Indian, Indian to Chinese, Chinese to Japanese, and back to English, you don't lose any words. It's a math problem. Just because there's 5,000 different signs and symbols for things, it's a math problem. You can't change a math problem. That's the accuracy and the beauty of this technology. Did you hear what I said? What I meant, what I said, what I said, what I meant, what I said. I'm communicating to you. It isn't what's written here. I'm writing to show you how many ways I can write it, to show you the variables. But when I speak it in one terminology, which one of the 150 variables up here did I just say to you? You don't know that. And because you don't know that, you're going to make a presumption, opinion, presumption, guess, perjury, a lie. How many different mistakes can you make? And that's only one word, or that's only 3 words. Try doing it with a lawsuit with 30,000 words on it. What do you think your variables are here? You're talking about quadruple terabyte to the terabyte power of variables. You can't get to a fact. If you can't have a fact, what are we doing? We're lying to each other. My technology brings us to a position of accuracy that cannot be argued.
Why would the court system choose to recognise that? Why wouldn't they just dismiss it?
3 plus 3 equals 6, doesn't it?
Don't know.
You'd be a fool to say it equals anything else but 6 because you would embarrass yourself.
Okay, let me give you another example of a correct sentence structure. For this claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the correct sentence structure pass a syntax communication by this claim. The claimant's knowledge is the cause. The facts are the consequence. The correct sentence structure pass a syntax communication is the possession. The claim is authority. The claim will always be the authority. With this sentence I am stating that I have knowledge of the facts because of my understanding of the correct sentence structure pass a syntax communication construct. Backward it reads, for this claim of the correct sentence structure pass a syntax communication is with the facts by this claimant's knowledge. Forward and backwards, the same sense is being conveyed. Guide 4, hyphens. For this claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the correct sentence structure pass a syntax communications by this claim. With this sentence, you will notice I am using 2 or more fact-based words to convey my volition. This works because of hyphens. Hyphens are used to compound facts. Claimant's hyphen knowledge is a compound fact. The same is said for correct hyphen, sentence hyphen, structure hyphen, pass a hyphen, syntax hyphen communication, etc., etc. I have compounded these facts with the use of hyphens. Guide 5, terms and conditions. While all sentences must show cause, consequence, possession and authority, terms and conditions can be added also. This is how I like to visualize how terms and conditions fit into correct sentence structures. For the cause of the consequence is with the possession of the terms, with the conditions, by the authority. I like to visualize it like this, because terms are married to the consequence and conditions are married to the possession. Obviously we can't write sentences like this. So our terms and conditions are placed after the possession. Because there are no terms and conditions without cause, consequence and possession, So correct sentence structures, with terms and conditions added, will look like this. For the cause of the consequence is with the possession of the term, with the condition, by the authority. Say for example, a mother gets up in the morning and wants to feed her family. If she was to state this claim with a correct sentence structure, it could read something like this. For the health of the family is with the breakfast by the claim. What could happen here is that she could be asked to elaborate on this statement. Maybe she would be asked, what are the terms and conditions to your statement? What did you have for breakfast? The cause is health. The consequence is the family. And the possession is breakfast. To add a term, and or terms to this statement. The term being, what was for breakfast? We could say, of the watermelon. Furthermore, looking at this statement, the condition, I would say is with the love. This statement with terms and conditions could read like this. For the health of the family is with the breakfast of the watermelon. With the love, by the claim. The placement of the positions are very important for our sentences to be read forward and backwards. You will notice that the terms and conditions are certified with the positions of and with. For this sequencing to work, the position with must always come before the position by. So when read backwards, the first two positions used will be for and of. Their opposites. This is why we must always add terms and conditions. Otherwise the positions will be out of sync for our sentence to be certified backwards. Guide 6. Conjunctions. There are two conjunctions in the English language. And, or. And is a command, or is a choice, an option. A conjunction is a bridge between syntax. For example, I could say, for the cause of the consequence, and consequence is with the, etc., etc. Or you could say, for the cause of the consequence, and of the consequence is, etc., etc. Or if there is a choice to convey, we can say, for the cause of the consequence is with the possession, or possession by the, etc. Or else, you could say, for the cause of the consequence is with the possession, or with the possession by the, etc. As the word and is a word that starts with a vowel and is followed by two consonants. This is not a positive performance word. Instead, the and symbol can be used. Furthermore, the / symbol is the symbol to bridge syntax. This can be used to convey and or. The / can be used to convey either a command or a choice. The conjunction is neutral syntax that bridges prepositional fact phrases together, and or facts. Guide 7. Full colon. Full colons are used to convey positional loadial set phrases. For example, let's take our sentence. For the cause of the consequence is with the possession by the authority. For the purpose of the exercise, let's drop the facts and our verb. We are left with our positions and loadial. For the, of the, with the, by the. Full colons can be used instead to convey these. So instead of writing, for the cause of the consequence is with the possession by the authority, I can write full colon cause, full colon consequence is, full colon possession, full colon authority. The full colons are our positions and loadial. Full colon cause equals for the cause. Full colon consequence equals of the consequence. Full colon possession equals with the possession. Full colon authority equals by the authority. It is important to remember that each spot in a full colon represents a word and a space. Every word when typed has a space, unless there is a break in the continuance, i.e., a comma or a full stop. So with this sentence, our first dot is for and a space. Our second dot is the and a space. Then we have cause and a space. Remember, each word has a space. This next dot is of and a space. The following dot is the and a space, followed by consequence with a space. Next we have the verb of our thinking, which is, along with a space. This next dot with and a space, followed by the and a space. Then possession and a space. The first dot of our last full colon is by and a space, followed by our last dot, which is the and a space. Then the word authority with a period. As I've said, our cause and authority always mirror each other and their positionals are opposites. Likewise, the consequence and possession mirror each other while their positionals are opposites. When using full colons, the full colons used for the cause and authority will always stick tight to the fact-based word, giving each word has a space, while the full colons used for the consequence and possession will always have a space between them, because the word preceding them has a space. Notice how the full colons at the cause and authority have no space between them, while the full colons at the consequence and the possession have a space. Each dot in the full colon is a word and a space. We must follow this sequencing for our sentences to be certified forward and backward.
Thank you for watching my video tutorial. My name is full colon Derek-Thomas. If you would like to ask any questions or would like to receive some coaching with the correct sentence structure, parse syntax construct, please don't hesitate to contact me in the private and confidential DerekThomasCoach@gmail.com. Again, thank you for watching.